Hey, welcome to Zach's Tech Turf. Today, we're going to be gaming with a $50 graphics card and taking a look at the GT730, specifically the PMY version with 1GB of DDR5. The GT730 at the time of this video is the 7th most popular graphics card on Steam, so I wanted to see what all the fuss was about. Does it handle modern titles? Can you play competitively with a $50 graphics card? Let's get into it. Before running all these tests and benchmarks, I wanted to let you know about my PC gaming without a graphics card video, which you might find pretty surprising. Also, I wanted to quickly show the computer I'm working with. This is my personal rig, which is rocking an i7 4790K, not overclocked, 16GB of DDR3 1866 RAM, and it's all on an MSI Gaming 5 motherboard. If you were actually in the market for a $50 graphics card, you probably wouldn't have this beast of a setup, but I did it for two reasons. First, it allows the graphics card to go full tilt with no bottlenecks, and two, that's all I had to work with. So let's move on. For this video, I don't want to focus on older games that we know it can run, but I know that like half of PC gamers play CSGO, so we have to include it. In 1080p with everything set to medium and no anti-aliasing, the GT730 averaged 73 frames per second. This is the footage that you're seeing now, so you can tell that it's definitely playable. For those of you that think 60 FPS is unplayable in CSGO competitively, I cranked down the settings to 720p and I averaged 172 frames per second. The last slightly older game that I ran was the built-in Tomb Raider 2013 benchmark because people have been using it for years now, so you'll be able to compare it to other cards easily. In 1080p and everything set to low, I averaged 43 frames per second, and this is what you're seeing now. This is probably where I would game at because you don't need 60 FPS for this game. However, if you disagree, if you crank down the settings to 720p and set everything to normal, it averaged 58 FPS. Alright, let's get into some more modern games, shall we? The point of this video is to see if you can use this card in 2016, so let's start with Overwatch. If you prefer to game in 1080p, you're gonna have to set everything to low and the resolution scale to 50%. This is what you're seeing now, and it averaged 54 frames per second. This is personally what I would game at because if you move the resolution scale up higher, it gets unplayable, especially if you want to stay competitive. The second test I ran was at 720p and everything set to low, 100% resolution scale, and that yielded 64 FPS. Next up, I went to one of my favorite games of this year, which isn't even fully released yet, Killing Floor 2. The footage you're watching is at 1080p with everything set to low, and it averaged an impressive 45 FPS. This was definitely playable because it's not too competitive, and I had no problem slaying all the zombies. Finally, to keep this as up to date as I can, I tried to benchmark the new Battlefield 1. As of right now, this game isn't playable in 1080p, but in 720p with everything to the lowest setting, I averaged 38 FPS, but it did dip down to 13 FPS. The stuttering wasn't a game breaker, and you can certainly enjoy the campaign with these settings, but I personally wouldn't recommend going online with it, at least not yet. And finally, for those of you that live and die by 3D Mark benchmarks, the GT730 pulled a graphics score of 1213. Real quickly before ending this video, let me introduce the sponsor of this video, Technic Share, which is a company of social media experts. For the past few months, they have helped my social media grow so much, and they can help you too. Their info is down in the description. Well, that wraps up my review of the GT730 graphics card. Like I said earlier, this card is still widely used on Steam, and I had to check what it was all about. I was impressed by how small this card was when I took out my GTX 980 to test it. At just $50, this thing may be what you're looking for to create an ultimate budget PC gaming build. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please drop a like down below to help support my channel. And as always, thank you for watching. And please subscribe for more Zach's Tech Turf videos.